Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagnargunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरदुषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्त रूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। गुरवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तरालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्येश्वरं हरि ओम तत्सत्। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So we have 10 devotees who joined till now. All of you all, may I request you all to switch on your cameras. We will chant one round and we will time our round. So they say between 5.5, 6 minutes to 7 minutes. Can everyone switch on your videos, or everyone is busy cooking, cleaning, stitching, and doing other services? Office is okay. Shobha Mataji, you are more devotional in office than at home, I guess. 8 hours, 9 hours in your office, you are hearing Krishna Katha only. Okay. So, Navkishwari Mataji, Manamali Prabhu, Pallavi Mataji, Nisha Mataji, Raja Lakshmi Mataji. Okay, even if you cannot switch on your camera, it's fine. We will all on our recorder on the mobile. Okay, so we will do this. First of all, when we record it, it is already time. Why we are timing it? Because we are checking whether we are taking, how long we are taking. We should be taking at least 6 minutes, at least 5 minutes and 45 seconds, like that, to about 7 minutes. That is our regular time that is required to chant one round. And then after the session is over, okay, Sindhu Mataji is also joined. Okay, so Mataji, we are just saying that we will record our chanting now, right? We will record our chanting. And then after the session is over, and you all can put in the chat box how many minutes you are taking for one round. And after our chanting is over, after our session is over, everybody will replay their own recording of the chanting. Don't send me the recording. Okay, who sent me? Somebody send me. Don't send me the recording of your chanting. Only send me whether you have heard your chanting and whether you have chanted 108 times. You will go through your recording and it will take only 5 minutes, because chanting itself is taking only 5 to 6 minutes. It will take 5 minutes, but it is a good investment. Okay, we will check whether we have chanted 108 times or हमारे beats ही घुमा रहे हैं, chanting उतना नहीं बोल रहे हैं, है ना? 108 times जपा भी मंत्रा भी बोल रहे हैं कि खाली beats को move कर रहे हैं 108 times. Okay, that's one. Secondly, we will also check how our pronunciation is. Okay, whether our pronunciation is clear and loud. ऐसा हम लोग loudly chant करेंगे जो जितना हमको सुनाई देना वैसा ही. Okay, so we will start now. Namo Vishnupadaya. And we can all switch on our cameras. Prayerful mood, proper posture, right? In Sukhasana or Padmasana, whatever is comfortable for you. Okay, in proper posture, with proper pronunciation, which we will check in the recording, and also in a proper prayerful mood. So okay, so let's all switch on our what is this recorder. Okay. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम कृष्ण हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम कृष्ण राम कृष्ण हरे राम कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम कृष्ण 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 हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे राम कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे राम कृष्ण Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna. So I finished my chanting. As soon as we finish, we'll raise our hand, and then others can continue chanting. Okay, as soon as somebody finishes, you can raise the this, and then also put in your name only. How many minutes? Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Okay, so everybody update against your name. You can rename yourself with how many minutes you have taken. Okay, I think everyone whose video is on have completed. Okay, we'll wait for Nisha Mataji. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. See, you can rename yourself. Karpagoli Mataji, 6 minutes, 54 seconds, like this. See, I'm named for Karpagoli Mataji. Rest everybody can do this. Right? We'll start our session now. And one more task is there for us after that. Shobha Mataji, 6.36. आपके नाम के लास्ट में लिख लीजिए, rename करके. Just click on the 3 dots, rename yourself and then put it. Okay, in the last we will take a screenshot and we'll post it. Okay, how many minutes each one is taking? Like that everyone can do. Leela Nandini Mataji, Sindhu Mataji, Meenakshi Mataji, Rajalakshmi Mataji, everybody, right? Okay, so now let's move on to our study of Srila Prabhupada's book, Beyond Birth and Death. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna. So we are reading chapter 3 of Srila Prabhupada's book, Beyond Birth and Death. This chapter is entitled Liberation from Material Planets. So we were discussing yesterday, or the day before, we were discussing how we cannot bring an end to the miseries of our existence, right? Because this world is designated as Dukhalayam and Ashashvatam. So just like in a Pustakalaya we get books, in Dukhalaya we can't expect but misery, right? But it is not possible to make a solution by artificial intoxication, right? So discussing how somebody may just take alcohol, or may watch a movie, or may go for shopping, just to forget their suffering, right? But after the 2 hours of movie, or after the 2 hours of shopping, or after the 3 hours of sleep, what is it? We have to wake up to the reality. We have to wake up to that the fact that there are problems in this material world. So what is the best way to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to engage in the Lord's service? Then are we not going to get any difficulties? No, we will learn to surrender to the Lord. And when we learn that what is not within our control, the suffering, getting out of the suffering is not within my control, but it is within the control of the Lord. And when the Lord's mercy is there upon me, He will help me, He will guide me to tide over every situation, right? That need not be taking away that suffering, but it can be how that suffering can be managed, how we can surrender in that particular situation of suffering to the Lord. And that way, every suffering or every misery can be an opportunity to surrender to the Lord, to render service to the Lord, to please the Lord. So that is what is the advantage that is there for a Krishna conscious devotee. A Krishna conscious devotee does not mean that there is no suffering for a Krishna conscious devotee, right? But a Krishna conscious devotee knows how to take misery or suffering in the right perspective, uses such misery or suffering in dovetailing it in the service of the Lord, using it as an opportunity to serve the Lord, to surrender to the Lord. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. Oh Krishna, please protect me. I don't know what to do. I'm just continuing to perform my duty, my sadhana, and I leave everything to you. Please protect me. Right? That is an opportunity to surrender completely to the Lord, knowing well what is not within my control is within the control of the Supreme Lord, who is my friend, who is my supreme friend, who is my supreme benefactor, who is my supreme controller. He is the one who's controlling me. And I want to be under the control of that Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. Not because he is very powerful, but because he is my supreme friend. He is my all beloved Lord, whom I want to grant the entire control of my life, right? Who has very willingly given me this free will. I want to utilize this free will to serve the Lord, to please the Lord, to surrender to the Lord, to give him pleasure, like that. Okay, so let's continue reading. Okay, Shobha Mataji, go ahead. One may point out that from there.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji's Hari Bol. See Bhaktivedanta.
I was just joking, that you are more spiritual in your office. Don't take it personally.
Hare Krishna, it's my blessings to be get connected and blessed with the office like this.
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
One may point out that although the devotees of Krishna are trying to enter Krishna's planet, everyone else is interested in going to the moon. Isn't going to the moon also perfection? That the tendency to travel to other planets is always present in the living entity. One name for the living entity is Sarvagata, which means one who wants to travel everywhere. Travel is part of the nature of the living entity. The desire to go to the moon is not a new thing. The yogis also are interested in entering the higher planets, but in the Bhagavad Gita 18.16, Krishna points out that this will not be of any help. Abrahma tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. From the highest planet in the material world down in the lowest, all are places of misery wherein repeated birth and death takes place. But one who attains to my abode, a son of Kunti, never takes birth again. The universe is divided into higher, middle, and lower planetary system. The Earth is considered to be a member of the middle planetary system. Krishna points out that even if one enters into the higher planets of all, called Brahmaloka, there is still repetition of birth and death. Other planets in the universe are full of living entities. We should not think that we are here and that all the other planets are vacant. From experience, we can see that no place on earth is vacant of living entities. From experience, we can see that no places on earth is vacant by living entities. If we dig deep down into the earth, we find worms. If we go deep into the water, we find aquatics. If we go into the sky, we find so many birds. Is it possible to conclude that other planets have no living entity? But Krishna points out that even if we enter into other planets where great demigods resides, we will still be subject to death. Again, Krishna repeats that upon reaching his planet, no one need not take birth again.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji. Hari Bol. Thank you.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. So for those devotees who joined a little later, what we are doing, we can chant one round of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, record it, and then we time our round. Because when you record it, automatically it is timed. And then later on, we play back our recording to see if we have indeed chanted 108 times. So sometimes and then we keep moving the beats, right? So that time we will also listen whether our pronunciation is correct. It means Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Are we clearly pronouncing every word of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra properly? And also, what is the time that we are taking in chanting one round? Right? Some of the devotees have put 6 minutes, 6.25 minutes, like that. So anywhere between 6 and 7 is okay. If it is beyond 7, that means we are dreaming too much. If it is less than 6, we're doing like that. We are chanting. Okay. So this is what we will check by replaying our audio of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, whether we are chanting 108 times and whether are we pronouncing clearly. Okay. So we'll do this exercise after this session is done, if you've not already chanted. Okay, so in this verse, what is Krishna saying? Abrahma Bhuvana Loka Punar Avartino Arjuna. Wherever you go, even if you go to the planets of the demigods, what is going to happen? We have to come back to this material world after having exhausted all of our pious credits, right? We do a lot of pious credits. We go to the heavenly planets, Indraloka, enjoy with the Apsaras and all. And then after that, what do? We again have to come down to the earthly planet, right? Because apart from the Bhumi, that's why earthly planet is called Karma Bhumi, because we accumulate karma only in the Bhumi, only in the earthly planet. When we go to Swarga Loka and the Tapoloka, Janaloka and all that, or we go to Patala, Sutala, Talatala, etc., we are only utilizing our karmas. That means we are exhausting our karmas there. But if we have pious karmas, we are enjoying and we are exhausting that. If we've done sinful activities, we're getting punished and we're exhausting that. And once all of that is exhausted, again we come to the earthly planet and then we create more karmas, right? As long as we become a devotee and then we start performing a karma, that means we work only for the pleasure of the Lord. We do our duty and then we offer the results to Krishna, right? When we work for the pleasure of the Lord, then only we don't create any more karmas. No karma, no vikarma. Only akarma. Only akarma means there is no need for us to come back to this material world to either enjoy or to suffer for the sinful reactions, right? That is why we want to perform akarma. And then what happens? We will not be loitering from the Brahma Loka to the Patala planets, but rather we will go back to the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, where Krishna says, Yat Gatvan Anivartante Tad Dhamma Parama Mama. Anyone who comes to my planet, we need not take his birth again in this material world. That's what Krishna is saying in this. And Prabhupada is quoting Krishna, wherein he's saying, Krishna repeats so many times. Krishna is saying that, right? Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvata tyaktva deham punarjanmanaiti mameti so Arjuna. And then, what is that verse? Sarvadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami marshacha. So many verses giving promises, right? But Krishna is giving us promises. Don't worry, I will bring you back to my abode. What you need to do, you simply need to surrender unto me, like that. Okay, Sindhu Mataji, go ahead. We should be very serious. Hare Krishna, yes.
Okay. We should be very serious about attaining our eternal life, full of bliss and knowledge. We have forgotten that this is actually our aim of life, our real self-interest. Why have we forgotten? We have simply been entrapped by the material glitter, by skyscrapers, scrapers, big factories, and political play. Although we know that however big we build skyscrapers, we will not be able to live here indefinitely. We should not spoil our energy in building mighty industries and cities to further entrap ourselves in material nature. Rather, our energy should be used to develop Krishna consciousness in order to attain a spiritual body whereby we may enter into Krishna's planet. Krishna consciousness is not a religious formula or some spiritual recreation. It is the most important part of the living entity.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Right, so we were talking earlier about that Bhagavata Saptaha, right? 7 days Bhagavatam. In South India is very famous, right? The person comes and he recites the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, various leelas of Lord Krishna, especially the Rasa Leela pastimes. They delve deep into it, and then they have a wonderful spiritual recreation, right? Hear about the Lord, and then go back home and then watch TV serial or cricket match, right? So this is nice recreation, time pass हो गया ना, भगवान के बारे में थोड़ा सुनेंगे तो हमारा भी time pass हो जाएगा. But we are not like that, right? For us, but we don't want any recreation, we don't want any enjoyment, right? But we want to understand about the Lord because it gives pleasure to the Lord, and it gives pleasure to the Lord when we enjoy doing such devotional service to the Lord, because it gives us happiness. Why? Because it pleases the Lord. Right? Susukam kartumavyayam. Why does it give happiness to the person who is doing devotional service? Because it depends on the attitude, right? Like Prabhupada mentions in Nectar of Instruction, in the preface itself, the advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower, right? So what is our attitude in even practicing devotional service? Am I doing time pass? Am I engaging in spiritual recreation? Right? थोड़ा अच्छा लग रहा है, मेरा मन को शांति हो रहा है, मैं अच्छा enjoy कर रही हूँ, chanting करूँगी. Very nice. That also is beneficial, right? People get into so many other kinds of sense gratification. But if we get into chanting as part of sense gratification also, it is good. But is it the best? The best consciousness, even while chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is to beg to be engaged in the service of the Lord, because it gives pleasure to the Lord, right? Because anything that gives pleasure to the Lord will give pleasure to everybody else, because we are all amshas of the Lord. Yata taror moola nishechanena. Right? When we water the root of the tree, the entire tree is nourished. But when we water each flower, each leaf, then the tree might die, because the root there is no water, which is actually sending the nourishment to various parts of the tree. Similarly, we need to be, and our bhakti is not even a tree, right? It cannot stand independently. Our bhakti is a creeper. So more so we have to nurture, right? A tree, at least if you don't water for 3-4 days, or 1 week also, it will stand because it's got its roots nicely in place. But a creeper, even if 1 or 2 days you don't water a creeper, what happens? The creeper will die, right? Our own Tulsi Maharani, right? When we are traveling somewhere else, if we don't arrange either with our neighbor or somebody to water the plant daily, after 10 days you come back, you will see that the Tulsi Maharani has died, right? The Tulsi plant has got dried up. Right? And our bhakti is like a creeper only, right? Because without the mercy of the devotees, without daily practice, without the daily nourishment, which is the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and hearing of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, hearing the glories of the Lord, our bhakti creeper will die. Right? We don't want our bhakti creeper to die. That is why we provide daily nourishment by chanting minimum 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. We hear the glories of the Lord, whether we like it or not. Some days we are unwell, we can't get up, right? Some days we don't want to cook. We are feeling very lazy. We are feeling very sick in the body, right? But Prabhupada has given us minimum 16 rounds. You have to chant whether we like it or not, whether we are sick or not. Even if you're not able to complete on a particular day because we are totally unwell, we can't even get up or get out of the bed, then we need to ensure that we make it up for the next day, right? So, say our acharyas have told us this, right? Haridas Thakur, he was telling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, oh Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu was asking, are you well? Haridas Thakur is saying, I am well, but I'm not able to, my body is well, but I'm not able to chant Hare Krishna. He was not willing to take prasadam also, right? And His Grace Mahavara Prabhu was telling me that as old as Jayapataka Swami, Shri Guru Maharaj, he was unconscious for months together. And after that, Guru Maharaj had actually calculated how many rounds were pending. And after he came into consciousness, he completed all of those rounds, and he also did extra rounds. So extra 500 rounds or something like that. So our acharyas teach us by example. Even if you are completely unwell, we should make up our rounds the next day, because this is a promise that we've given to our spiritual master. And we are all sadhana bhaktas. We have to be very, very careful in following the principles of our sadhana, right? What are these? Minimum, very, very basic principles, not very austere conditions, not asking us to stand on one leg in the cold water, nothing like that, right? We simply have to chant 16 rounds and dedicate 2 hours of our day in chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra with concentration, and then hear about the glories of the Lord, speak about the glories of the Lord, read Prabhupada's books as much as possible. Very, very simple things we need to follow. Even if you are completely unwell or something like that, now we should ensure. Nowadays, everything is available on the click of a mobile. Even when we are relaxing, we can hear, we can hear Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita from senior devotees, right? And then we can get enlivened by hearing about the glories of the Lord. So in this way, so many facilities are available, but it is all, as jivas, we have one thing in our control. Whether or not anything else is not in our control or not, one thing we have in our control. What is that one thing? Our ichcha, right? Our desire to serve, that is always within our control. So in this way, we can always engage in the service of the Lord. All right. So let's continue. Why I was talking about this? Yeah, our previous chapter ended that way, right? So what is it that we need to desire? We need to desire to serve the Lord for His pleasure, not because it gives us pleasure. That's how we started this topic. All right. Chapter 4, the sky beyond the universe. Leena Nandini Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna Mataji, Dandavats.
Chapter 4, the sky beyond the universe. If even the higher planets in this universe are subject to birth and death, why do great yogis strive for elevation to them? Although they may have many mystic powers, these yogis still have the tendency to want to enjoy the facilities of material life. On the higher planets, it is possible to live for incredibly long lifetimes. The time calculation on this planet is indicated by Sri Krishna. Sahasra Yuga Paryatam Ayur Brahmana Vido Ratrim Yuga Sahasrandam Teho Ratra Vidojana. By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together in the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. Gita, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text 17. One yoga covers 4,300,000 of species years. The number multiplied by 1,000 is calculated to the 12 hours of Brahma on the planet Brahmaloka. Similarly, another 12-hour period covers the night. 30 such days equal a month. 12 months a year, and Brahma lives for 100 such years. Life on such a planet is indeed long, yet even after trillions of years, the inhabitants of Brahmaloka have to face death. Unless we go to the spiritual planets, there is no escape from death.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So it is said in Bhagavad Gita in one of the purports, Prabhupada explains Brahma lives for 411 billion years and 30 million years. It looks like eternity from our perspective. And Prabhupada explains that it is just like a flash or a lightning for Krishna. From the point of view of eternity of Krishna, even Brahma's life is considered very, very negligible. Right? But from our perspective, when we see the life term or the ayu of the people of the higher planets, then it seems that they live eternally because their lifespan is very long. But Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. So an intelligent person does not want to go to Brahma Loka also, knowing well that even though it looks like eternity, it is still one has to come back to this material world. So what is why should an intelligent person settle for anything less than eternal life, blissful life in the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Why should anyone settle for anything else other than this, right? Okay, Nisha Mataji, go ahead. Avyakta Advyaktaya Sarva Prabhavanti Yaharagame Ratriagame Praliyante Tatraiva Vyakta Samyake. Yes, Mataji.
Dandat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dandat Pranam. When Brahma's day is manifest, this multitude of living entities come into being, and at the arrival of Brahma's night, they are all annihilated. Gita 8.18. At the end of the day of Brahma, all the lower planetary systems are covered with water, and the beings on them are annihilated. After this devastation and after the night of Brahma passes, in the morning when Brahma arises, there is again creation, and all these beings come forth. Thus, subjection to creation and destruction is the nature of the material world. Bhutagramasa evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate Ratragame va sappartha prabhavatyah ragame. Again and again the day comes and the host of beings is active, and again the night falls, O Parth, and they are helplessly dissolved. Gita 8.19. Although the living entities do not like devastation, the devastation will come and overflood the planets until all living beings are on the planets stay merged in water throughout the night of Brahma. But as day comes, the water gradually disappears. Parastasmastu bhavonyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yasa
Avyakto,
sarveshu
avyaktat.
bhuteshu.
And there is apostrophe is there, na? Then we have to say avyakto. Avyakto means unmanifest.
Avyakto. Avyaktat sanatanaha yasa sarveshu bhuteshu nashastu na vinashasti. Yet there is another nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, the part remains as it is. Gita
Hare
8.20.
Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna Dandak
So
Pranam.
here, Hare Bol. Thank you. Okay. So here what is explained here is Brahmas. There are three kinds of pralayas, right? There is Naitika pralaya, then there is Prakriti pralaya, and then there is one more. There are three kinds of pralayas actually. First is the living entities, right? We all die whenever physical body, when the soul leaves the body. The second is at the time of night of Brahma, that there is a pralaya that happens. That pralaya happens only below Brahmaloka, right? That does not happen beyond the Brahmaloka, right? And then what is that? Then the next pralaya is when Brahma is at the time of death of Brahma. That is when Brahma's 100 years get over. Right here, Prabhupada is explaining it, right? So Brahma lives for 30 trillion years. See, one yuga occurs 43 lakh years into 1000 years into 12 hours of Brahma. 12 hours of Brahma, why? Because that is only the daytime of Brahma. That is daytime of Brahma. Similarly, another night time of Brahma is also there. That is what is called Kalpa. One Kalpa is 1 day of Brahma, and another Kalpa is equal to 1 night of Brahma. So 30 such days equal 1 month, 12 months a year, and Brahma lives for 100 such years. At the death of Brahma, then there is a final pralaya. So there are three kinds of pralayas, and only when at the time of death of Brahma, when that pralaya happens, then only everybody go into the Garbhodakasha Vishnu, and then the next again the creation happens. But every day Brahma, like when we get up in the morning, we have the opportunity to chant Hare Krishna, isn't it? But Brahma, every day he wakes up, he has to again and again do the creation. Right? Nitya Pralaya, yeah, Shobha Mataji is written, correct. So Nitya Pralaya, Naimittika Pralaya, and Prakritika Pralaya, the three kinds of pralayas like that, right? So it is said that we all go into Garbhodakasha Vishnu and then come out again when Brahma's term expires. That means when Brahma's 100 years also expire like that. And then, but Brahma, even after his own night, next day also he creates again. So every day our Brahma Murta chanting time is creation time for Brahma, like that. Okay. So no, what is that? Yet there is another nature. Yeah. So again, Prabhupada is immediately talking about the spiritual world, right? That nature which is eternal and which is transcendental, it is supreme and it is never annihilated. That is beyond Brahmaloka, right? The Viraja river is there, and then beyond that is the spiritual world where there is no annihilation at all. Okay. Now who will read? Now Kishori Mataji, go ahead. We cannot calculate.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. We cannot calculate the extent of material universe, but we have Vedic information that there are millions of universes within the entire creation, and beyond these material universes there is another sky which is spiritual. There all the planets are eternal, and the lives of all the beings on them are eternal. In this verse, the word Bhavaha means nature, and here another word nature. In this world, we have experience also of two natures. The living entity is spirit, and And as long as he is within matter, matter is moving, and as soon as the living entity, the spiritual spark is out of the body is immovable. The spiritual nature is called Krishna's superior nature, and the material is called the inferior. Beyond this material nature, there is a superior nature, which is totally spiritual. It is not possible to understand this by experimental knowledge. We can see millions and millions of stars through a telescope, but we cannot approach them. We have to understand our incapabilities. If we cannot understand the material universe by experimental knowledge, what is the possibility of understanding God and His kingdom? It is not possible experimentally. We have to understand by hearing the Bhagavad Gita. We cannot understand of our mother and her. If we do not believe her, there is no way of knowing. Similarly, if we just stick to the Krishna conscious method, all information about Krishna and his kingdom will be revealed. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. So Prabhupada gives a very beautiful example, right? How we need not mentally speculate, right? Everything is clearly given to us, and we hear through a bona fide authority, and that is why, and that is how we understand the transcendental subject matters, right? Prabhupada gives the example of how if we need to know who is our father, we don't have to go and do all these tests. Because when we do all these genes and other tests, etc., our life will end, but we will not be able to arrive at the result, right? So, what is the best way to understand who is our father? We simply have to hear the word of our mother, right? Similarly, the Vedic scriptures are said to be our mother, right? Because the Vedas, what do they do? Vedescha sarve ahameva vedyo. From reading the Vedic scriptures, we understand who is our supreme father, Krishna. So, in that way, the Vedic scriptures are like our mother. We understand from the Vedic scriptures who is our eternal father. And this is the way of properly knowing Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu. We hear Vedic scriptures from bona fide authority. And in this way, all the information about Krishna, his Dhamma, his Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, everything will be revealed to us by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. So let's go ahead. Parastu Bhava means superior nature. Who will read? Darpavali Madhavi, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Dandatna Mataji.
Dandavats.
Parastu Bhava means superior nature. Vyaktaha refers Vyaktaha refers to what we see.
Avyakta, we read in the verse. Avyakta means unmanifested. Avyakta. Vyakta means what is manifested, what we can see through our eyes. Yeah.
What we see manifested in. We can see that the material universe is manifested through the earth, sun, stars, and planets. And beyond this universe is another nature, eternal nature. Avyakta Sanatana. This material nature has a beginning and end, but that spiritual nature is Sanatana, eternal. It has neither beginning nor the end. How is this possible? A cloud may pass over the sky and it may appear to cover the great distance, and actually it is only a small speck covering an insignificant part of the whole sky. Because we are so small, if only a few hundred miles is covered by a cloud, it appears that the whole sky is covered. Similarly, this whole material universe is like a small, insignificant cloud in the vast spiritual sky. It is encased by the Mahatattva, the matter. As a cloud has a beginning and an end, this material nature also has a beginning and an end. When the clouds disappear and the sky clears, we see everything as it is. Similarly, the body is like a cloud passing over the spirit soul. It stays for some time, gives some byproducts, dwindles, and then vanishes. Any kind of material phenomenon that we observe is subject to these 6 transformations of material nature. It comes into being, grows, stays for a while, produces some byproducts, dwindles, and then vanishes. Krishna indicates that beyond this changing cloud-like nature, there is a spiritual nature which is eternal. In addition, when this material nature is annihilated, the Abhyakt Sanadana will remain. That Abhyakt Sanadana.
Thank you, Mataji. That Avyakta Sanatanaha will remain. Why? Because that Avyakta Sanatanaha refers to the spiritual world, which will not be annihilated with the annihilation of this material world. Right? That's why it is said the 3/4 of the creation is a transcendental world, and only 1/4 of the creation is the temporary material world, like that. So that avyaktat sanatanaha will still remain. Prabhupada gives a very beautiful example here. How sometimes when the cloud, now even the sun, right? When the cloud comes over, we're not able to see the sun. Does that mean the cloud, so small cloud, is able to cover the entire sun? It's not possible. The sun is the greatest planet, right? But what is getting covered is our vision. It looks like, that's why we are subject to illusion, that we think that a mere small cloud is actually covering the entire sun, right? It is only our vision that is covered, not the sun that is covered. So that is the illusion. And when this material nature is annihilated, so similarly Prabhupada gives example of how this body is like the cloud, which prevents the soul from actually having darshan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when we purify our senses, and we purify our false ego, that I am not the controller, I am not the enjoyer, I am the servant. When we get that attitude, then automatically we will be able to see things as they are. Okay, who else will read now? Yeah, Raji Lakshmi Mataji, go ahead. In Vedic literatures,
Hare Krishna Mataji, in Vedic
Hare Krishna.
literatures, there is a good deal of information about the material and spiritual skies. In the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are descriptions of the spiritual sky and of its inhabitants. There is even information given that there are spiritual airplanes in the spiritual sky and that the liberated entities there travel about on these planes like lightning. Everything that we find here can also be found there in reality. Here in the material sky, everything is an imitation or shadow of that which exists in the spiritual sky. As in a cinema, we simply see a show or facsimile of the real thing. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that this material world is but a combination of matter modeled after the reality, just as a mannequin of a girl in a store window is modeled after a girl. Every sane man knows that the mannequin is an imitation. Sridhara Swami says that because the spiritual world is real, this material world, which is an imitation, appears to be real. We must understand the meaning of reality. Reality means existence, which cannot be vanquished. Reality means eternity. Nasto
yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So we remember our 15th chapter verse, right? Urdhva Moolam Adha Shakam Ashwattham Prahuravyayam. So what is it? The spiritual world is eternal. It is like the actual tree. Whereas this material world is said to be the reflection of the actual tree, which has its branches and root upwards, which has its roots upward and branches down like that. So this is the tree that we want to cut the root off, so that we can go back home, back to Godhead, to that particular eternal spiritual world. So we'll end with Subhara Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, go ahead. Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah. Upayorapi drishto anantas anayos tattva darshini. Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah. Upayorapi drishtontas
Vanayos tattva
darshibihi. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent there is no endurance, and of the existent there is no cessation. These seers have concluded by studying the nature of both, that is Gita 2:16. Real pleasure is Krishna, whereas material pleasure, which is temporary, is not actual. Those who can see things as they are do not take part in this shadow pleasure. The real aim of human life is to attain the spiritual sky. But as Srimad Bhagavatam points out, most people do not know about it. Human life is meant to understand reality and to be transferred into it. All Vedic literature instructs us not to remain in this darkness. The nature of the material world is darkness, but the spiritual world is full of light, and yet is not illuminated by fire or electricity. Krishna hints of this in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, 15:6. Na tat bhasete suryo na sasanko na pavakaha yad gatvana nivattante tat dhama paramam mama. That abode of mine is not illuminated by the sun or moon, not by electricity. One who reaches it never returns to this material world. The spiritual world.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol,
so here there is this beautiful saying in this Vedic literature, right? Asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityomam amritam gamaya. right? So from darkness, we want to move towards light. From ignorance, we want to move towards knowledge, right? In this material world, such knowledge can be obtained by approaching a bona fide spiritual master and trying to take guidance, render service, and humbly inquire from such a spiritual master. Then we will be able to get the knowledge, the real transcendental knowledge that can actually move us or can take us from this darkness of ignorance to knowledge, right? Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, from darkness of ignorance to the illuminating light of knowledge. And then Prabhupada also talks about how in the spiritual world there is no need for a sun or a moon. Natat bhashyati suryo, there's no need for a surya. Na shashanko, there's no need for a moon also. Yadgatwana nivartante tadhamma paramamama, right? Anyone who perfects his life by properly utilizing the human form of life and engaging in bhakti or devotional service can attain that abode of mind, which is neither illumined by sun or moon nor electricity. And one who goes there does not come back to this material world again. So that's what it is. So that can be our desire. Our desire can be, how can I, in this human form of life, which I got, Durlabha Manusham Janma, right? Very rare to get a human form of life. Having got this rare human form of life, how can I utilize, right, this human form of life to attain the eternal destination of going back home, back to Godhead, of attaining Krishna Prema, of being always eternally engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? That is something we can only try in this human form of life, right? It's not possible in either form of life. So with this, we'll conclude today's session. And then we will meet tomorrow again, 5 o'clock for our Brahma Muhurta chanting session. And then we'll continue to take this forward from there. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. So let us have darshan of all the devotees. And then let us do Harinam Sankirtan. Just 1 second. Where's my kartali? Hare Krishna. Okay, we have Rajalakshmi Mataji, Subhara Prabhu, Karpagavali Mataji, Shobha Mataji, Ramya Mataji, Navkishori Mataji, Sarva Gopeshwari Mataji, Sindhu Mataji, Meenakshi Mataji, Nisha Mataji, Leena Nandini Mataji, and all the devotees. Thank you very much for joining in. Panchakalpatharogyascha, Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prestaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine, Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine, Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Ashatyadishatarine, Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasani, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Gurudev, Srila Gurudev, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. All glories assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, dear devotees. So we'll all do this exercise. Now, whoever have done one round of chanting with us in the beginning of the session, or those who haven't done, can do one round of chanting, record it. If you want, you can send a message to me. How much time you took for one round of chanting, play back our recording to see if we've chanted 108 times the Mahamantra. And thirdly, we will also check how is our pronunciation of chanting Hare Krishna. This is a very good investment, right? Hardly going to take about 5 to 6 minutes, as much time as we did the chanting, one round. We will check that. We can do that almost every day, or at least once in 2 days, to check if we are chanting indeed 108 rounds, 108 times as we move our beads. Are we chanting with the proper pronunciation, prayerful mood, and also how much time we are taking to chant one round, and we are chanting 108 times and proper pronunciation. So we can check that, and if you like, you can send a message to me, or you can do a self-introspection. When you see the results only, you will know how we can improve, right? So we can do that. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.